First up, oh, no bother. Okay. First up is the testes. Okay. The testes, right? The testes are found inside of the scrotum. Okay. And on your K. Devlin sheet, there's a list of things going from the dartos tunic to the visceral vaginal tunic, and those are the layers of the scrotum. And they're in order on the sheet from the outside going in. Okay. So it starts with the dartos tunic, which is the wrinkled outer layer. Okay. And then there's the external spermatic fascia. Okay. And then the next one in is the cremaster muscle. Okay. The cremaster muscle is the one that raises and lowers the scrotum. Okay. So, oh man. Oh, okay, hold on, I'll get to it. Right. The sperm are living little cells, and they have an ideal temperature that they like to be at, right? They don't want to be too warm, and they don't want to be too cold, right? So if they're up real close, the scrotum is way up close to the body, the testes are close, sometimes those little sperm, they're like, we're dying in here. And so the cremaster muscle will relax, and the scrotum will hang down lower so that the sperm are cooler, so they can get cool. Right? What's up? I brought them today, so no. What? That sucks. If it gets too cold, then the cremaster will raise the scrotum, so bring up those testes close to the body so that the sperm can be warm. Okay. So, I just heard that last spring, I think Tiffany Hahn was like, you know, the cremaster muscle, like drop them like it's hot or something like that. I don't know, something funny. Okay. But the cremaster muscle is responsible for raising and lowering the scrotum. Okay. Let's see. Then there's internal spermatic fascia, the parietal vaginal tunic. They have a vaginal cavity. And on the right, and the vaginal cavity is between the parietal and the visceral vaginal tunics. Okay. And so that's the layers of the scrotum. Okay. We won't have pinned a layer of the scrotum and ask you to identify it. Okay. We can ask you a question on the function of the cremaster muscle, or I could ask you, what's the outer layer of the scrotum, something like that. But I'm not going to pin it and say, what is this? And, oh, that's the internal spermatic fascia. Okay. I'm not going to do that. Okay. Okay. So we have the testes. Okay. This thing on the outside here, that's the epididymis. Okay. The epididymis. Did I write it? Yeah. Okay. The testes, the testicle is full of seminiferous tubules. I don't think that's on the K. Devlin sheet. The seminiferous tubules. Okay. And that's where the sperm are made. So sperm are made in the seminiferous tubules. So they're made in here, and then they travel into the epididymis. And the epididymis is where they get their tails. Okay. So when you're inside of the testes, it's just a little round cell, and then it travels into the epididymis, and it gets its tail. It becomes a pro swimmer in the epididymis. I hate this model. Okay. Okay, so it travels through epididymis, and then it enters this tube called the vas deferens, or the ductus deferens. They have the same name. The vas deferens or ductus deferens. Okay. And this thing, okay. So we have seminiferous tubules inside of the testes, then it goes to the epididymis, and then it goes into vas deferens. Okay. Vas deferens is traveling, along with a couple other things, inside of the spermatic cord. Okay. So if I pop this off, this structure here is the spermatic cord. Okay. And the spermatic cord has the vas deferens, it has the testicular artery and vein, and the testicular nerve in there. I think, yeah, that's good. So spermatic cord, we always ask this question of what makes up the spermatic cord. Okay. So it's vas deferens, a testicular artery, vein, and nerve. Okay, it's those four things. And right, see if you remember. Okay. So the testes are on the outside of the body, the spermatic cord is on the outside, but then it's going to enter, it's going to go through the body wall to go inside of the abdominal cavity. And what does it travel through when it does that? The inguinal canal, yeah. So spermatic cord is going to travel up with the vas deferens inside. It's going to go through the inguinal canal. Okay. This big thing here, this is the bladder. This pink thing here is the bladder. Okay. You see the bladder there? Okay. So vas deferens is traveling in the spermatic cord. It goes up and around the back side of the bladder. So it's traveling around back side of the bladder, and then it's going to meet this this little structure here. And oh my gosh, I'm blanking on the name. Oh, that's right. Okay. This little vesicle here is a seminal vesicle. And then we can open it up. The seminal vesicle. And the seminal vesicle creates seminal fluid that's going to be used to nourish the sperm. They're living cells. They need nourishment so they can survive their long and hazardous journey. Okay. Okay, so vas deferens goes around the back side of the bladder. The seminal vesicle is going to squirt seminal fluid inside of vas deferens. And then once a seminal vesicle squirts seminal fluid inside, okay, that's when there's first actually called semen. Okay. Inside of vas deferens, it's just sperm. Okay. And then the seminal vesicle squirts seminal fluid, and then you finally have semen. Okay. So, here's the bladder, the structure here. Okay. And underneath of the bladder is this thing called the prostate gland. Okay. The prostate gland. So prostate. Okay. So the vas deferens runs around the back. If we turn this around, okay, seminal vesicle squirts seminal fluid. And then once it's done that, then there's this tube running horizontally through the prostate gland. And that's the ejaculatory duct. Okay. It's running horizontally through the prostate.
So is that why when a guy has prostate cancer and they have to get surgery, it can actually affect the urinating and...
Yeah. Yeah. Because the ejaculatory duct runs through it, and the urethra runs through it. So the ejaculatory duct is going to dump the semen into the urethra. There you go. Okay. So the ejaculatory duct is the one running horizontally through the prostate, and the urethra is the one running down from the bladder. Let's see the other model. Okay. So if we look here, right, here's the bladder still. Okay. See, there's the bladder. Okay. With the prostate gland underneath. Okay. And the horizontal tube running through the prostate is the ejaculatory duct. Okay. It's going to dump into the urethra. Okay. Oh, it's on here. It's on here. Okay. Then the urethra is going to go through the penis. Okay. So here's the penis here. Obviously. Okay. I don't know where the other half of it is. Oh. Last quarter I had somebody, because we have, their little chunks of penis that come off of the models. So last quarter somebody was like, you should use the penis as a pointer on the board. And I'm like, that's... No, it's just weird, guys. Okay. 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 Let's see this. No, not this one. Okay. The penis is made up of erectile tissue. There's two types. Okay. There's corpora cavernosa. Corpora cavernosa is this one here, this light blue one. Okay. The Corpora cavernosa. Okay. And there's actually 2 rods of it inside of the penis. So there's 2 rods of Corpora cavernosa. And then the one that the urethra runs through is Corpus spongiosum. Corpus spongiosum. Okay. So it's the dark blue one there. Okay. The Corpora cavernosa is the one that fills with lots of blood and gets super hard. And the Corpus spongiosum doesn't get as hard. It doesn't get as full of blood. And that's because the urethra is running through it. If you fill it with too much blood, it squeezes off the urethra, and then ain't nothing getting through. Okay.
Where does the urethra go through?
The urethra goes through the corpus spongiosum. Okay. So it's like the name spongy. Think of a sponge isn't super hard. Right? Sponge is soft and squishy.
Corpora.
The Corpora cavernosa.
Okay, so that one is the one that fills with.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you draw... If you draw a cross section